Alright guys, it's Criminal here, back to another MK1 video, and this one I'm gonna be settling the issue for good. Who is the greatest cameo for Johnny Cage? Johnny is already like, pretty much everybody in the community agrees this guy is top 5, and most put him like at number 3. I put him at number 3 as well personally. He's a fantastic character for sure. But there is something I don't see anybody settles on, and I am not fully 100% sure myself, but today I'm just gonna evaluate the things, the pluses and the minuses. The two cameos at first are Cyrax and Striker, and they are, in my opinion, easily the best two cameos you can use for Johnny. Now, I wanna settle with the best one. So let's look, first of all, look at the HP differences. Striker actually has a negative HP effect. He lowers your HP by 50, because he is a very good cameo. But Cyrax, who is pretty much unanimously agreed to be like number 1 cameo in the game, actually has no effect on HP. He just keeps it the exact same, which is kind of stupid, but regardless. So yeah, Cyrax already checks the mark on just not lowering your HP, which is fantastic. Now, if you're talking about the combo game, who's better? If I use Johnny in mid-screen with Cyrax and do whatever combo, let's say this one. Oh, sorry, yeah. I can use Cyrax and confirm into like how much? Around 40 for meterless, pretty much. So yeah, that's very good. Now, when I'm using Striker, yeah, that's around it, I suppose, 35%-ish. Still very good damage, of course, but in mid-screen, Cyrax definitely has the edge. In mid-screen combos, meterless combos at the very least. Not to mention Cyrax's combos are considerably easier than Striker. Striker and mid-screen require some much more strict timing. So I have to give the edge to Cyrax when it comes to meterless combos at the very least from mid-screen. Now, if you want to spend bar, things could change. Because when you spend bar, and I'm talking about no hype combos, by the way. I'll talk about hype combos later, but if you're talking about spending bar, Cyrax can also give you a lot of damage in this way. And again, its combos are significantly easier than Striker's. If you're talking mid-screen to corner, or if you want to spend 2 bars for your Snack Punch, Cyrax here is around 46%. If I want to spend everything I've got, like full bar, full everything, all of my resources, I want I'm dead now. I get a bit more 47, nothing too substantial. Now when I'm using Striker, let's see if there's a big damage difference. Striker's bombs do more damage than Cyrax's swords, and they also scale almost not scale. So if I just go for the exact same route I did but with Striker, excellent. As you can see, while Striker gives you more damage after the nut punch, you actually can't confirm into an aerial combo like with Cyrax, so you have to change around the route if you want to get something. If I want to go for the nut punch, just only nut punch without Rising Star, I can get around 44-45%, so the damage is pretty similar. Cyrax with only the nut punch EX, like for 2 bars, can get around 46, so Cyrax has the edge in that as well. And if you are talking about spending bar, again, exact same route. I'm not changing out the route, unless I absolutely need to. So, just what I did with Cyrax. Again, the damage is a bit low because you actually can't combo after the regular nut punch with Striker. It's just, it doesn't chain. The bombs don't chain unless they are standing. So, standing or in the air. But if they are crumbling to the ground, like with regular nut punch, it just does not work. So, again, we can get like 46%, I'm fairly sure, but again, because Striker's comboing ability is more limited towards withstanding your opponent with EX Nut Punch, he suffers from the same problem as Kano, just it doesn't aid the combos when you don't want to spend your bar. So I would have to give the edge to Cyrax when it comes to mid-screen combos, for sure. Now, if you go to the corner, does anything change? If you're getting, let's say, an optimal starter, with Cyrax, let's go meterless, and then the meter versions. When meterless, we can get around 42, and I could actually extend this even more, I'm fairly sure. Let's see here. Nah, that's around it, I mean. So yeah, 42% for no bar. Amazing. Now, when we're using Striker, how much can we get? Let's see. Again, exact same route. Again, because Striker can't confirm off of the regular nut punch on the ground, you can only get something like this. Still, 37-38% stuff harboring around that area for me, no bar, which is amazing, for sure. It's not the amount of damage you can take lightly. Now, if you want to spend, let's say, max bar, I'm not gonna go over the less versions. Max bar. Actually, no, let's go over 1 bar just with Rising Star, because you want to keep your bar most of the time. You don't want to just spend everything. So, if you're going just, let's say, 1 bar, Rising Star, EX Rising Star. Main combo tool, pretty much. With Cyrax, let's see how much you can get. $44 almost. Impressive damage, for sure. Very impressive damage. Now, if you are moving on to Striker, again, you can of course tweak the routes, get more optimal starters. I'm checking it with the regulars, with some of the same starters every time to just see the big difference. You can optimize this a bit better, but we are again hovering about the 40% range, I would say. This is not an optimal version, you can get something more optimal. But again, we're hovering around 40%. With Cyrax, we can get around 45. So again, Cyrax has the edge when you don't want to spend more meter. Now, if you're spending everything, you want to get max damage. No hype yet, of course, but if you want to get max damage, let's see how much we can get. With Cyrax, this is the amount we can get if you want to use Rising Star and the EX Nut Punch. $50. We broke 50. Very, very impressive damage. We can't deny that. Incredible amounts of damage. 50% is amazing even for 3 bars. Especially when you're considering you're not using hype yet, so... yeah, that's a lot of damage. Now, when we're talking about Striker, how much can we get if you spend everything? Again, the timing changes. It's a bit more difficult with Striker. Pretty much every combo you do is much more simple with Cyrax because of the insane hitbox of the swords. We are getting around the same numbers because Striker's bombs do much more damage and they don't have scaling at all. So Striker's bombs, they are insanely good for combos, but just like Kano's knives, because in order to actually get them in a combo and actually get a reliable combo extension, the opponent has to be standing. That means you need the EX Nut Punch, which is nerfed, so that's a big hit. So I'd have to give the edge for combos, at least when you're not with hype. The edge for combos has to go to Cyrax because of how much better he is to just convert off of combos easily, more reliably, and for less meter. So Cyrax definitely gets combos when you're talking about non-hype stuff. Now, if we're talking hype, when I do have hype, let's say I get this starter, normal starter to get like the 2-1-2 in the corner. Let's see how much I can get with Cyrax. Oh, sorry, I did something stupid. Never mind. I mean, that's around 42%-ish. Not very high. because the source scales so badly, you actually do around the same damage you would do normally, like when you activate hype right away from a normal starter. If you activate hype from the optimal starter, let's check it from this actually. We want to check the max damage we can do with hype, of course. So let's check it from a standing 4. Much less common to get, but that's a much more accurate gauge of the extent of the damage. So with hype from the get-go, let's see how much we can get. Sorry, I dropped it. Let me just do it again. Around this area, 55%, a lot of damage, and that's meterless. If I want to do more damage, I actually can, if I want to spend everything. But just for meterless hype, we are sitting around the 55% area from an optimal starter. So that's a lot of damage for sure. Now, when we're using Striker, let's see how much we can get.
Perfect.
Again, exact same starter. God damn it. Let me just do it again. I'm sorry I dropped it. I just haven't used Striker in a while, so I keep dropping these combos. And I've been playing so much Kenshi. As you can see, we're getting more damage. We're getting like 3% more damage. And keep in mind, if the enemy is using a bigger character like General Shao who has a massive hitbox, what you saw now was only when one bomb connects. When both of them connect, they do more damage because they don't scale at all. So this is only when one of them connects. When two connect, it can do much more damage. As you can see, it did 6% now. So when the two connect, it does much more. So if I did this combo around General Shao, it will probably break 60. So in hype combos, meterless, Striker gets the edge. Now, if we are doing max spend, I want to kill him now. Max spend, optimal starters, everything. The max damage I can get with the Kameo. Let's see how much I can get. As you can see, we are hovering around the 64% bar area. Like 63, 64%. A shit ton of damage, of course. No character in the game can get this amount of damage. Unless you're stealing Shanks. Unless you're stealing Baraka using Shanks, which, come on, isn't really realistic. So we get 64 with Sax. Let's see how much we can get using Striker, we got 64, sorry. Using Cyrax, how much can we get? As you can see, the damage difference become much larger. That is because the source again scale. Cyrax's Striker's bomb don't increase scaling at all. They have zero effect on scaling. A combo will do the exact same damage it will without them. So, and if they do have scaling, it's so minimal, it's barely noticeable. So, when we are talking about hype combo, Striker has the edge, for sure, when we're talking strictly damage. Now, let's talk about other stuff, regardless of combo. So, we settled it, when you don't have hype, Cyrax is better. When you do have hype, Striker is better. Now, if we are talking about mix-ups, who is better? Let me put them on block. Now, both of them have their advantages. Cyrax is infamous already, like in the community, for just how good his souls are on block. Extremely plus and do 4% chip damage. They actually do more damage on block than they do on hit, by the way. So, yeah, 4% chip, which is a lot of damage. And they also have a lot of hit stun. So what that means, if you jail into them from any overhead, you can just continue a mix-up. Because they hit high, you can duck under them. So if I do something like this, my opponent can do crouch block and then this will whiff. So if I have myself control the other Johnny, and I make the Johnny do this, look at what happens. I block it, I crouch block, the source completely whiff. So I can punch Striker out of here. Now, if I do an overhead and time it well, it completely jails into it. What that means basically, I do an overhead, they are forced to block high, and because that overhead forces them to block high, when they block it, they just get hit by the source, because they can't go back to crouching fast enough. So if I do something like this is completely guaranteed a 9+. And I did around 7% chip, and I can continue doing this, like the exact same thing. but I have to tweak it around a bit. So we can see from any overhead, and Johnny has multiple overheads, you can do jail into Cyrax. So of course it's very, very useful on block, as in always. Now with Striker, is he better or is he worse for Johnny specifically? When we use Striker, the big difference between them, while the bombs are also extremely plus on block, they're actually, I believe, more plus than the swords even. Yeah, they're plus 77, so what that means basically, if I jail into them, I am extremely plus, and that was only when one bomb hit. If I can make it so the both of them hit, that is a way, way plus. So if they try to punch me out of something, like, I can do whatever special move I want. I can do something like this, which is normally unsafe. They try and punch me out of it, they just get knocked in the face by a bomb and I get a full combo. So just to show it, like, let me record the Johnny. Not this Johnny. Let me just take control of player 1. I record this Johnny doing this. Okay, now I block it. I try punch him in the face, I get hit by the bombs. This is extremely plus on hit, so they basically just get a full combo. And it's also unscaled, because the bombs don't scale. Same thing applies to Cyrax, by the way. If they try to mash out of it and get hit by Cyrax, it's a full combo. So we can see Striker has the similar utility that Cyrax has on block. And the amount of chip it has is also nothing to be laughed about, because if both of them chain, which is a bit more difficult and more... It's more requiring spacing, but if they both hit, like they do 3% chip, I don't know if you can make it hit on block, but regardless, it does around 1.5%. So the chip damage isn't there compared to Cyrax, but the block pressure is definitely it. And now, Striker also has another advantage over Cyrax. So look at when it hits, it is a mid, so it's not possible to crouch under this. What that means, I can do anything I want and call Striker, and I'm a still plus. It's still my turn. Like, I can do shit like this. And if I call Striker, I will still be plus. I am still plus. And both of them hits, actually. Both of them hit, they do almost 3% chip, and now I'm plus 79 on block. So basically, if they didn't block it, they would get hit for a full combo. And if they did block, they still are forced to block again. So I can do stuff like that, call bombs. They can't crouch block it, so they just can't avoid this. They must block. And if they jump, it will also hit them, because it has a hitbox in the air as well. And I can also do stuff like this. I am still plus. I am still plus. It also recovers much faster compared to Cyrax's sword, so you can just repeat them faster. Like, if I do this, I can just do it again, instantly. With Cyrax I can't, but with this I can. So you can see Striker has advantages, specifically for Johnny, when talking about simply keeping yourself safe and keeping yourself plus. So I would give the advantage over, in this regard, to Striker. So if we're talking about just the pressure game, like keeping yourself safe and plus on block, Striker is better than Cyrax for Johnny. Now, are there any other utility on mix for this character? For Cyrax, no. He's only there to keep yourself plus and do chip damage on block. That's his main goal. Striker actually has more depth to his mix-up game because of the buttons. He has this, and he has this. Both are plus, the overhead is extremely plus, so you can just use this. And Johnny, because he has so many strings that have a low and an overhead in the middle of them, like this one, ends in a low overhead, the mixed game with Striker becomes insane. So because I can just do this, and then I can do this. I'm plus, you have to deal with it. I do this, and then I can keep attacking you. I'm plus 6 still, you can't attack me. The low one is only plus 1, and by the way, this is completely guaranteed. You can't punch me out of it. Not even with Johnny's down 1. That is the fastest button in this game, 6 frames. You can't, it's just you don't have the time. So, the low one you can trade with it at best. Most of the time it will trade, not even, you can't even punish me. So, as you can see, the mix game goes to the sky using Striker, because now I can just mix shit like up like this. Instead of an overhead, I go for a low. Instead of a low, I go for the overhead. And when that does this and chip, and when it hits it, that's 6% of their HP. And normally people won't block it. They are afraid of getting hit by the low. That leads to a full combo, so they won't block overhead. And if they do, they will normally mash after this, because they don't remember it's actually plus on block. So I just get this, go into another string, and I get them. That's how it goes most of the time. So on block, I would have to give Striker the very comfortable advantage. He is much better on block for Johnny, for sure. Way better. Now, let's talk about neutral. Who's better in neutral? Let me just make him an auto block instead. Let's talk about Cyrax. First of all, Cyrax has his net. It's a very good trading tool. If they throw a projectile and you call Cyrax at the same time as them, which happens a lot in this game, and Cyrax just absorbs the hit and still launches his net, if he gets you, full combo guaranteed. I can even do stuff like this. And it also doesn't scale and almost. the net doesn't have a lot of scaling, so if I get a jump in, let's say, and I do this, as you can see, it scales, but I can still get pretty decent damage, so this is a very good tool on neutral. But let's talk souls. They aren't that good in neutral. From the mid-range, you can throw them out, but because you can duck under them, and Cyrax takes a bit of time to start launching his attack, you can actually just punch him out of it most of the time, if done just strictly neutral. So it's not the best, just throwing it out randomly. Its main usage is on block and combos, and the air souls are only for combos, nothing else. And his bombs are completely useless. Like, the bombs aren't useful, we all know that by now, nobody uses this. The only gimmick they have is actually they still launch they launch to the sky, regardless of how many launchers you used in the same combo, but problem is they are so slow you can't combo into them at all, because they are summons. The only character in the game that actually combos into the bombs is Giras, from his time freeze. Nobody else can do it. So, yeah, we can see Cyrax is decent on neutral, but it's nothing special. And for Johnny, who has no zoning tools, this can be substantial, because when you're full screening with Johnny, you have to use EX Shadow Dash if you want to get in without getting hit by projectiles, because this regular one, you can just projectile them out of it, but this one is immune to projectiles, so of course it has advantages. Now, Striker. Let's talk about neutral. He has his bombs. They go pretty much full screen, almost full screen. So they have a lot of screen control. You can jump over this thing, you can duck under it, so when you throw this out, you can really much approach them with block dashing really quickly. Like, I throw this, and I'm in their face. I'm already in their face. So they are forced to deal with it. Like, I throw this, now they can't do anything. If they try to attack me or something, they just get hit by the bombs. So, as you can see, it's very good, and especially in mid-range. In mid-range, it's become fantastic because I just throw this, wait here. If they hit, I can still get a combo because it's so plus on hit. And if they block it, I still get mix-ups. And I have another striker charge, so I can still use them for mix and combos. So as you can see, even in neutral, Striker is better for this regard. But let's talk about another thing that is important for Johnny. Charging hype. How do you charge hype with this character? Normally what you do is just something like this, just at the end of combos. Or you just do this pose, whatever pose, and call a Kameo to keep yourself safe. Now, what Kameo is better for that job? Like, I would say Striker is considerably better because his bombs are mids and they take much more of the screen. So you can do this in combos. Oh, sorry, I dropped it. Whatever combo, let's not make it long. Like, just a very short combo. I call Striker, I'm completely safe. He can't interrupt me at all. If he does any move, he gets hit. Anything, he can't interrupt at all. Because this is a mid and it also covers the skies. You can jump over it, you can't run into my face and punish me. It's just not possible. So, Striker is fantastic. Cyrax can do around the same thing, but because you can duck under them, characters that have low attacks that move forward can actually beat this. Like Sub-Zero Slide, Reptiles, Death Roll, stuff like that can actually beat this. So, Striker is definitely better for hype charging in neutral. Now, let's talk about special gimmicks. Do they have any other bits of utility that the other one doesn't? Striker has a unique thing, he has this end cups. End cups, what they do is you call Striker at the end of combos and he re-stands the opponent. Now, is this very useful for Johnny? Not really. Now, why is that not very useful for Johnny? Of course you can just go into a grab and stuff like that and that's already a mix-up, but while you do deny them the option to attack you back and you can just get a free mix-up, Johnny has no low starters. He doesn't have an overhead and a low, so it's not very useful for him specifically, so just the only thing you can do that is actually on overhead is this one, or you can run up to them and do a grab. So, while the cuffs do restand, they are not very useful for a character like Johnny. Because getting a hit after the cuffs is very difficult unless your opponent is a masher, and then you don't even need it because you just beat them because they suck. But regardless, next up we have Cyrax. This is the unique utility of Striker, he doesn't have much else, like pretty much nothing else. He has tools for everything, but he doesn't have a unique utility tool. So, let's see what Cyrax has. Cyrax has multiple things. First of all, the net. Because it stands for so long, you can actually do net. And when you actually get the net, charge high and continue your combo, which is insane. Now, problem is, you can't combo into this thing. It's impossible pretty much. Almost nobody can combo this. The only characters that can, I'm pretty sure, are Rain, Giras. Johnny can also, but only when he's in hype mode, which I will talk about later. And who else? Smoke, I believe. Smoke, Rain, Giras, and Johnny. I believe that's there. Bombs aren't very useful. He has his EX throw, which is fantastic. Because it guarantees a lot of damage. And why is that so good for Johnny?
Sweet.
Let's talk about the big part here. Hype. Cyrax synergizes so well with hype with his net and his grab the EX because Johnny can do this. You can do nut punch, and because of the amount of hit stun it has, look at the amount of time it takes him to recover. Like, look at how much time it takes before he regains his stance. You can see it takes a while. What that means is, I can do this, go into forward throw, and they can't mash. The only things they can do is jump, and that is not very easy to do. You have to time it perfectly. They can also armored wake up if the armor move begins very, very quickly. And they can throw escape. That's it. Ducking won't work, mashing won't work, regardless of the move you do. Mashing just fails against this. What that means is, if they're off guard, you can just do a very long hype combo and finish with the grab. And just reset your combo.
Sweet.
So you do whatever hype combo. I do this. I go into the grab, and I'll just get a reset. Look at the amount of damage I just did. 80-90% breaking that. And Cyrax has more utility tools that I will talk about now. But as you can see, the grab, when catches them off guard at the end of hype combos, can be insane. Because why is that so powerful? It's so powerful because I don't have to go for the grab. I can just dash and just punch them in the face. And if I did a grab last time and they got hit, they weren't expected it, this time they will, I just do a string. And now I get a combo reset and they're just dead. Because if I get a reset with Johnny and I get a fresh combo, I get around 40-50% easily with Johnny because it does a lot of damage. So yeah, this is an insanely powerful tool for Cyrax to have. Now, another thing he has that synergizes extremely well with hype, just you can cancel special moves into special move and summon Kameo move. So you can just cancel nut punch into net and it works. So what that means, it's extremely valuable for just locking them down. But another thing you can do is use it for side switches. Like if you activate hype, when your back is to the corner, you do a nut punch, set up the net, jump over them and just dash. Like this, dash, get them in the corner and then continue your combo. You can, because of the amount of hit stun, but the big deal about this is this thing.
Sweet.
I stun them with the net at the end of my hype combo, and I get full hype back, and I can still continue a combo. So now if I land any hit on them, let's say they woke up, got hit by the overhead, the game is over. I got another hype. And keep in mind, I don't have to stop there. If they are still alive for some reason, I go into net again, I charge it another time. And of course I can do some stylish stuff like double hype and triple hype and shit like that, but that's not the main deal. Having the ability to charge hype at the end of your hype combos and just have it set up for the next hit you get is priceless. You just have infinite hype basically. You get what you charge hype one time, and it's not easy, it's not that hard to do either. You pose and use Cyrax to keep yourself safe. There, I have hype. Now any hit I get, I go into hype, I finish the hype combo with net, and I just set up the poses. 2 poses, the shades and this one, and I have a hype back. That's basically a cheat code to have infinite hype. And when you have hype, Johnny is the best character in the game when it's activated, because you can cancel every single block and you're just plus. You can do so much fucking damage, your mix-up is relentless, it just becomes absolutely bonkers. So that is a priceless ability. And Cyrax also has another thing. Look at Johnny's Fatal Blow. If I hold it fully, look what happens. It's an unblockable attack, you can't block this. Now, this actually has a unique gimmick. Johnny has a part in his dumbass dance where he grabs his belt. The unblockable actually begins there. You don't have to wait the entire dance, so you can just cancel it before the dance ends. So he grabs his belt, I see it, I release it. It's an unblockable already. Now, why is this so powerful? The net locks them down for so long, you can just get a guaranteed combo reset for a raw fatal blow at the end of combo. So just to show you what that means, I can do this.
Sweet. This is all. Stop.
I mean, arrivederci. Like, I can do this, charge double hype, and after the throw, I just drop it, but I don't want to just waste time. I'll just cinch in the clip. Like, I'll show the combo afterwards. I have the clip still. But I can do this after charging hype, go into net, and this is completely guaranteed. They can't do anything about it. I just wait for them to get released out of the net, and boom! Unblockable. You can't do anything. What that means is basically I can do a 55% hype combo, end in the net, and instead of charging hype again, I can just do this fatal blow. I get an extra 35%, so I get 90% completely guaranteed. The highest damage in guaranteed reset combo in the entire game. If you're talking about at least for one reset. With Jax, you can actually get 103% using Johnny, but regardless, that is an obscene amount of damage. I will finish the match every single time. So, as you can see, Cyrax's tools are just amazing for hype. Now, what do we value more? That's the question you need to ask if we're talking about who's better between the two. Well, first of all, ease of use. Cyrax is easier to use compared to Striker. So, of course, that is very, very, very good. Like, the combos are much easier, much less risk of dropping them. The links in the combos are very, very free. They're not tight or something. It's not tight links, it's very, very simple to get the links in combo. So, you'll drop so much less combos with Cyrax. It's pretty much, they are very, very easy once you learn them. Like, you almost don't drop these combos once you have Johnny down good. So, and another thing, of course, we are talking about combos specifically. I would give the edge to Cyrax because of how easy they are. In certain scenarios, Striker can get more damage, but it's much more difficult. So, Cyrax is just more ideal, of course. I would rather sacrifice 5% damage for easier combos that I won't drop online. So, yeah, that is a very good thing that gives the edge to Cyrax. When we're talking mix-ups, pressure, keeping yourself plus, all of this stuff, Striker easily has the edge over Cyrax. And he also has the edge in neutral as well. But, there is a big but. The gimmicks Cyrax has when Johnny is in hype are priceless. Making Johnny's hype this much more powerful makes Johnny the best character in the entire game by far when he has hype. By far. If you're using Cyrax and you have Johnny with hype activated, Johnny is unbeatable. Unbeatable. You get an hype combo started, and if they don't have breaker, they're just dead. They are dead. You can get 90% damage if you have fatal blow. You can get reset combos that are just a 50-50 mix-up. You have to guess. Will he go for a throw? And if he does, can I react fast enough? Or will he just go for another string? And if I mash, I get hit and I die. You also have the ability to charge hype at the end of hype combos and get another hype ready for the next combo or for the next round, which is priceless. Having a constant stream of just hype meter being ready in the tank just to activate it every time you get a hit is unbelievably powerful for Johnny. Because Johnny, when he has the hype activated again, is completely busted. Johnny with hype activated is better than Kenshi with Sento activated. He is insanely good when he has hype. So, what that means basically, if you are using Cyrax and you have pretty much infinite hype, you could make the argument Johnny is number one in the game. You could make this argument because you always have hype. You never run out of hype. So, in conclusion, who do I believe is the better Kameo pick for Johnny? I would have to give it to Cyrax. The utility he gives on hype is priceless. No other Kameo in the game can give this much power to Johnny when he has hype. Maximizing the output Johnny has when he has hype is just priceless. Now, getting the first hype gauge will be more difficult when using Cyrax compared to Striker, but once you do get it, you are in God mode. They can't attack you. You get one hit in. With Johnny's extremely good mix-ups, get one hit, confirm into hype, that you can do anywhere on screen. If you watched any of my hype meter videos, you can do it anywhere on screen using Johnny if you are good enough with the character. From mid-screen, in the corner, from any starter, you don't have the standing for, you don't have to do anything like that. So, basically, the moment you actually have hype full, Johnny has infinite hype for the rest of the match. You can't just do anything about it. Like, unless the luck is against you, if you time hype correctly, there is nothing they can do. Like, you time hype correctly, you delay your hits as much as you need in hype. Like, you can delay the nut punches to make the gauge run out faster. Before the combo ends, you just confirm into Cyrax, you have full hype gauge and you're ready. And you also have the unblockable fatal blow shenanigans from the net, which are insane. 35% extra damage at the end of a 60% combo. Or actually at the end of a 90% combo if they fell for the throw reset. So completely and utterly busted. So yeah, guys, I will leave it here. I will actually just, I will show you just now the clip of the highest damage combo I got with Johnny, the highest sequence, 120% if you get the throw reset in the combo. And you also have the guaranteed fatal blow reset as well. So, completely busted. With Cyrax, Johnny is insane. I will have to give the edge to Cyrax. I have to do it. As much as I love Striker, both are amazing options. These two are by far the best options for Johnny as a character. Nobody else even compares. But yeah, guys, I'm just gonna show the combo now. I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found this informative. I will see you in the next one.